Hey everyone, welcome to the new session Python for Machine Learning. So before start the session, please give me a quick confirmation I am audible or not. If I am audible, then please put a yes coming to the live chat for that we can start the session. Right, I'm just waiting. I will wait for a few seconds for your confirmation that I'm live and I'm audible. If I am audible, then we will start our session. And guys, I want this session to be more interactive, and also I just want to understand that what are the doubts you have when we talk about machine learning, when we talk about Python. Right, we will talk about everything, and whatever doubt you have, don't forget to ask me in the live chat for that we can start the session. Right, so I can see a few yes, so I can understand I'm audible. So let's get start with the session. So let's have a look at what are the agenda we have. Before talking about the agenda, I just want to understand from all of you, how many of you actually heard the term machine learning? Just give me a quick confirmation on that, that what, like, for how many of you machine learning is a very new thing, and for how many of you already know a little bit about machine learning. Right, so give me a quick confirmation on that, and we will talk about what the agenda we are going to talk about, what are the things we are going to talk about. Right, will that work for you guys? Okay, so let's have a look at the agenda. So first we will talk about why do we need machine learning, the need of machine learning, right? Then we will have a look at what is machine learning, right? So first we will understand why do we need it, and then we will have a look at what is actually this whole scenario all about, why it's getting more popular these days, why every company is trying to hire their own machine learning engineer as well. We will talk about that. Right, then we will see what is the life cycle to be a machine learning engineer you have to maintain to build your first model with machine learning. We will talk about that. Then we will see what is Python and why we choose Python over other languages as well. Right, and from there we will have a look at what the importance of Python. I mean, we have lots of languages, then why should we actually use Python over others? So in this case, we will talk about what are the language you can use as well as a machine learning engineer. What are the things you need to know, as you have to make them your forte. For that, it will help you in your growth in the career as well. We will talk about all those things, and last but not the least, I will show you what are the important libraries you need to know from Python to start your journey with machine learning. Does it looks interesting, guys, to you? Okay, I can see few of them have idea about, okay, machine learning. That's really interesting. So I want, do you feel this session is going to be interesting and rocking session? If yes, please do let me know. Right, and now we will have a look at why do we need machine learning. Right, the first things comes into our mind, hey, why do I need to learn the new techniques, how it's gonna help us? I will give you the plenty of reason for that. You say after the session, I should learn machine learning, and it's basically make you feel really good, and you will make your own prediction, you will make your own model, and lastly you can do some amazing projects, right? And it will make you really feel like, oh my god, I want to learn this more, right? And if you feel like you want to learn this more, do not forget to check out that in the Great Learning Academy. We do have lots of courses, explanation, and explain courses, and this will basically help you to start your journey with machine learning with free of cost, right? So let's have a look at the first things comes into our mind, that why do we need machine learning? The data becomes unstructured. Now I will give you the enough scenario that you can understand from where these data are coming and how this is becoming unstructured, and why do we need machine learning. I am not going to make these things theoretical. I will try to give every example of like this real life example. So guys, I want a quick response from all of you. How many of you actually use Swiggy, Zomato, Uber and Ola? Give me a quick confirmation. If you use them, then I will say few points for that you can understand this data. As a data scientist, we know there is a big craze of data scientists. There is a big craze for machine learning engineer. But do you know, with this particular person work with what? This particular person works with data. And do you know from where these data are coming? You are the creator of the data. Now we will say how I am the creator of the data, right? Okay, so let me give you an example how you are the creator of the data, right? So the main reason is behind that. Suppose you are booking your cab, or you are you are ordering your food. So that time, the respective company you are going to use, maybe you are going to use Zomato or Swiggy or some other app, a web application, or for your cab booking, you are going to use Ola or Uber. So when you are using it, they try to take your data. Now we will say why they should have take my data, that where I'm going and what I'm eating. Yes, they are trying to understand their database. They are trying to understand their customer base. Suppose they want to cluster the same kind of customer they have according to the taste, right? Suppose you are someone who loves to have spicy food or who loves to have Chinese. Maybe you explore new restaurants and you just keep on ordering from them, and they're really good. And some of the customer they have, they don't know from where they should use, they should actually go for ordering their food. That time they can they can recommend the new food to the new person. Yes, so this is how they can basically make their customers happy and they can increase their sales. So this is the small example I have given. I hope you all quite familiar with weather forecasting. Do you know how this weather forecasting works? Yes, this weather forecasting works using machine learning techniques. Suppose, let me give you 2 3 more examples of that. I think you all use Netflix, right? I'm pretty sure that everyone watches Netflix, right? In that Netflix, you should see that your playlist is different, right? The recommendation playlist is different. Whereas if you open your friend's account, their whole recommendation is different. How it's going to work? Yes, based on your choice, whatever the movie test you have, they will give you the recommendation. But how they do that? Is it manually? No, the machine learning comes into the picture. Whatever the movie you are watching, they are trying to take that data. Whatever the series you are watching, they are trying to take that data and they try to make the customer cluster. So same cluster, the same customer may be like the same movie or web series. Based on that, they try to give you the recommendation. Isn't it interesting, guys? Give me a quick confirmation on that. Don't you feel it's really it's really interesting? Yes, you can do the literally lots of cool stuffs using machine learning, and the machine learning is not that tough as well. So these are the reason why this craze is actually going on for data science, for machine learning. As we all know, COVID hits, right? We all know that this pandemic hits and our industry is not really in a good position. But do you really think that when it comes to data scientist or machine learning engineer, they are actually prospering very nicely? But why and how? Because they want someone who can predict the future, who can understand the data, and from there they can say, hey, this is going to be the case, or this is going to be the scenario after a few days, right? So they want someone who can actually see the future, and this is where the machine learning comes into the picture, and this is where your data science is blooming right now, right? I hope you understand why do we need machine learning. So quickly, let's have a look at the few other bullet points we need to talk about. And guys, if you really like the video, do not forget to like it and do not forget to subscribe. Great learning, right? So now we will talk about business insights. As we are making the data, as I'm saying, they need someone who can guide the business properly and saying, hey, you have to give this particular coupon to this particular customer base and your sale will increase. Who is going to give you this advice? Who is going to give you a proper way for that you can actually make your business grow? Yes, this is where machine learning and data scientists, data analysts, business analysts comes into the picture, and they actually make a business forecast or business insights from the data you are making, right? I hope you guys are understanding without knowing in fact how you are making the data, right? So now it's reducing the production cost. How it's reducing the production cost? Maybe you have lots of prediction to work on and you have only one data scientist. How it's going to work, right? Yes, to maybe to have lots of prediction, you have to make lots of models. Yes, if you make the model once, trust me, you don't need anyone to take care of that. Your model will work by itself. Yes, and this is how you don't need to hire lots of people to manage your business. And this is how it's reducing the production cost, right? And last but not the least, we have built model based on the data to give the ability to the machine to predict on its own. You can understand what we were talking about. You actually build a model and your model is capable enough to give you the answer. You don't need a human being, right? You can understand how it's basically helping you to do that. Yes, these are the reasons why do we need machine learning. Now if we have a quick glance at what we have in the past data and why we cannot use machine learning that time, I can give you a plenty of reason for that, right? But before start with that, guys, do you have any doubt why do we need machine learning? And how many of you actually watch Netflix? Give me a quick understanding. And how many of you actually see this recommendation and you like it? I want to understand that as well, right? What do you think? How much perfect it is when it's going to give you the recommendation? Did you guys, any one of you, actually go for the recommendation by the Netflix or the recommendation by Swiggy or Zomato for food? Any one of you? Give me a quick confirmation on that. And in the meantime, I will say you what we used to have data in the past. For that, we cannot use machine learning or deep learning or artificial intelligence past days. We do used to do that, but not in a messy way, the way we are doing right now. So what we used to have, the past we used to have data in a small, right? As you understand, what we used to do in the past days, we used to go to a mall and we used to buy the whatever we need, or maybe for the cab we used to take taxi, or we used to go for auto, right? But this data was not there, right? As we are going towards more towards online world, we do online transaction, we do online booking, we actually prefer online thing. So that's what's happening, the data is coming. That time the data was in a very structured manner because yeah, because the basic reason was there was a person who used to insert those data, right? Yes, but now what's happening, we will talk about that. So as the data was small, was structured, it was manageable easily. But in these days, what's happening, the data becomes very huge. We are going towards the web application. We are going towards online transaction because it's hassle free. As the pandemic hits again, we just try to reduce the human touch. For that again, we go for online transaction, right? So our data is becoming huge day by day, so that it's becoming unstructured or semi-structured. It's easy one, right? Okay. Now what we do, lastly, we have not manageable with the traditional methods. Yes, when you have a data in a huge manner, and what's happening, so that time what's happening, there is no person who used to insert the data. You have an automated option who try to capture the data, and that's why the traditional methods are failing to use those particular messy data, right? And this is why we need data science, and also we need machine learning. So now we will have a look at what is machine learning, right? So guys, do you have any doubt till so far what we have talked about? Any doubt? Now we will talk about what is machine learning, how it works, and then we will see why we choose Python over any other language. Aniket is saying subscription charge of Netflix is too high, ma'am, so we use Telegram. Okay. Yes, they are giving you lots of things, and yeah, it's quite acceptable that they are charging a lot. I know, but they do have few like few good features, right? And guys, if you really like the video, do not forget to like it and subscribe. Great learning, right? So guys, what do you think about why do I need this machine learning? Do you also feel that the industry is keep on increasing the demand of machine learning engineer, artificial intelligence engineer, deep learning engineer? There are lots of places are there, right? Yeah, right. Okay, cool. Now we will talk about what is machine learning. So let's have a look at what is machine learning, and I will explain this in a layman term. If you never heard this term, then also you will understand how it's going to work. The machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence. So basically, machine learning comes from AI, which is artificial intelligence, that allows the system to automatically learn and improve from experience without being explicitly programmed. Now I will give you the answer of what actually I want to mean by that. Now please look into the image we are talking about. Suppose you have a model, right? You need to make this model. Now what you have? You have the training data, and from the machine learning you have algorithm. So using algorithm and the training data, you will train your model, and after you train your model, you will have your one set of test data again, and you can test your model. Right after you do that, your model is ready, and you can say, hey, my model is ready, and you can use my model, and now you don't need any human interfere, and my model can work for you. Yes, this is how machine learning works. Any doubt till so far, guys? Thanks, Akshay. Hey, Sian. From where we're gonna start machine learning from? Data. I don't get it, Aman. If you can if you can again repeat that one. I did not get you. Right? And if you want to check out the machine learning course, you do check out the machine learning course in Great Learning Academy. If you are someone quite, okay with Hindi, and if you feel there some courses in Hindi, yes, we do have courses in Hindi as well. Right? Yeah. So this is pretty much about what is machine learning. Now we will have a talk about the life cycle of machine learning. Now you will say, why do I need to have a life cycle, right? Yes, you need to have a life cycle, and you have to follow few, yes, you have to follow few steps to basically make your model. So let's have a quick glance at that. So what is that? The first step is understand the business problem. Now you will say, hey, why do I need to understand my business problem? Suppose being a data scientist, the Swiggy, Zomato, let's take our first company name as a Zomato. So the Zomato, your manager is saying, hey, as a data scientist, I know you do know lots of things, you have a good idea about that, but what I want, you just have to give me a proper idea about what are the customers base we have, when do we put what type of coupon for different customers, and how they will take more orders from us, and we will actually increase our sales. You can understand, basically there are two things you have to work on. You have to understand the customer's behavior, and also you have to make the sales grow, right? So you can understand there are two responsibilities you have. Now if we talk about Ola and Uber, right? So in this case, suppose as a Ola Uber manager, he is going to say, hey, I understand that people do need to book the cabs, but what I understand, I want to know that at what time I should make the surge happen. For that, people should know that I'm charging a lot, but then also they are going to take my cab, right? Because the increase, the demand is high, that's why we are not ready to give the cap, that's why we are making more more profit out of it, but then also people is going to do that. You can understand how different this two problem. Yes, this is how this two different, right? And you have to understand those things. So basically, being a data scientist, your motto will not be in one direction. You have to think about 1,000 different directions, and you have to come up with a solution. Now, as we know what your objective is, you have to go for data acquisition. What is data acquisition? Data acquisition is basically how can you collect the data. So your company will give you enough data to do the analysis. Now you will say, why do I need to go for taking different data? So there is a key point. We can say the more data you have, the more rich you are. Now we'll say, how can I be rich? Because the more data you have, the more pattern you can see, the more you can do the analysis on the data, the more report, the strong report you can make. So this is the second part, is data acquisition. You have to go for collecting the data. Now as we know, the data we are collecting, this is not in a good structure, they are not even in a usable manner. You have to go for the most time consuming part, data cleaning. Yes, when you make the data clean, trust me, your data is same as gold. Yes, anyone who wants to buy the data to do the analysis, but no, this is your data. Data cleaning takes the most time out of it. And also, yes, Anurag, please do. I will complete it and I will wrap up it quite shortly, and then I will answer your questions as well. Right. So you can understand data cleaning is one of the most time consuming process. After you clean your data, you have to go for exploratory data analysis. What is exploratory data analysis? Let me tell you in a in a same term, that it is basically you are going to use statistics to understand your data, to understand what is the range of your data, to understand what is the count of your data, what is the spread you have in your data. Yes, these are the things you have to understand to do the analysis. As you have a good understanding about your data, you can say, hey, I know what type of machine learning algorithm I need to use. If you don't know about your data, there are different types of data you will have. We will not talk about that, but yes, we do have different types of that. And also from there you can say, hey, I know my data, so please, I know what type of algorithm I need to use. After you do the, after you actually go for machine learning algorithm and you go for train your model, last but not the least, what do you need to do? You have to predict your model with the new data. And if your model is going to work really pretty cool with it, you can directly claim, hey, I make my model and you can use it. And you don't need anyone to do this particular work. My model is capable enough to do that, right? So this is the whole life cycle of machine learning. And guys, if you really like the video, do not forget to like it and also subscribe. Great learning, right? It's always motivates us to make a new video for you, to make a new live session for you as well, right? So this was pretty much about the life cycle of machine learning. And if we talk about a quick a response from you guys, what is the difference from traditional programming versus machine learning? Give me a quick understanding by looking at this particular photo. Then we will talk about Python and then we will wrap up. I just got few questions. Does army use machine learning? Yes, most probably, but I cannot make comment on that because I am not having a good idea about it. But yeah, government intelligence do use machine learning, if I am not wrong. Their intelligence branch do use machine learning. Hey Sian, I have just explained what is machine learning. Anurag, you can ask your question, right? So guys, any doubt till so far, whatever we have talked about? Right, I cannot see any doubts, but let me give you a quick example and quick difference between traditional programming versus machine learning. So you can see for the traditional programming, every time you have to do programming. If you are someone doesn't like to do programming, then this is very irritating thing, right? But when it comes to machine learning, you have to give the data, you have to do the programming for the once. For the next time, if you want to give your data and if you want to get the output, you don't need to do the programming. Yes, this is how machine learning is different from traditional programming, right? Now we will talk about the different types of machine learning. We have three types of machine learning. Guys, never forget that. We have three types of machine learning. One type supervised learning, second one is unsupervised learning, third one is reinforcement learning. Supervised learning is basically if you have a teacher to teach your model, right? In a very layman term, again you can say, when is unsupervised, there is no teacher to teach your model. Last but not the least, last but not the least, reinforcement learning is basically when, suppose let me give you an example of Tesla self-driving car. I think you all guys have already, you all guys have already know about this Tesla self-driving car. Yes, they use reinforcement learning to teach their model, right? So this is pretty much about the types of machine learning we have. Lastly, we will talk about why we choose Python over any other language. And guys, again, if you like it, do not forget to like and subscribe. Great learning. So now if we talk about what is Python, guys, give me a quick response. How many of you know about Python? Right? Hey, Jai Singh, our moderator will help you out on that. Okay, roadside. Okay, it's asking how can I learn ML and AI completely and where? Why don't you check out our courses on Great Learning Academy? You can do check out them and you can start your journey with this different trending technologies, and that is also for free, right? So now if we talk about what is Python, Python is a popular high-level object-oriented and interpreted language. What does this mean, right? Let me give you a quick example of that. If you know English, right? I know every one of you here know English. So if you know English, you can start learning Python. There is no syntax problem you have in Python, right? Only one thing you have to maintain, that is Python indentation. It's really cool to start with. I love Python. Now I will give you the few reasons of benefits of Python. The first benefits of Python is web development using Python is really easy, right? Then length of the program is short. Yes, the length of the, when we talk about any programmer, the first things comes into our mind, hey, the programmer should, handle thousands lines of code and I don't want to do that. Yes, this is true, but in the case of Python, it's really less, and you can start your journey with Python. If you start it, you will not regret it for sure. Now Python is simple and beginner friendly. If you are from a background of commerce or someone who never did programming, he or she also can start programming Python, right? And last but not the least, mathematical computations is really easy with Python. If you go for data science, you have to do lots of mathematical computations, and it's really easy with Python because it has lots of libraries to work with. And lastly, graphical user interface. If you are someone who wants to make his or her own game and you want to make a cool graphics for that, why don't you check out Python, right? The important libraries we will talk about that you need to know to start your career with Python. You have to know Numpy. What is Numpy? That is numerical Python. Then you have to know Pandas. Pandas is basically for data manipulation library if you want to manipulate your data. Then you have Matplotlib and Seaborn for data visualization. Lastly, you have sci-kit-learn, and in sci-kit-learn, you will get all the algorithm of machine learning is already implemented. You have to just call those function. Yes, so this is pretty much about the session, guys. We talked about what is Python, why do we need it, and important libraries you need to know in Python to start your journey with machine learning. Okay, I'm network engineer. Can I switch ML or data science? Why not, Aniket? What you need to know, your keenness to learn new thing, right? Anyone can start their journey with Python, with machine learning, with artificial intelligence. I hope you do like this video. If you like it, do not forget to subscribe Great Learning and also do like this video. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Bye bye. We will see you in the next session.